The next said to his tormentors, "Ours is the better choice, to meet death at men's hands, yet relying on God's promise that we shall be raised up by him, whereas for you there can be no resurrection, no new life." Here, then, in the pre-Christian books of Maccabees, is the principle of bodily resurrection that will figure too prominently in later Christian theology. It is available, however, as the third of the above speeches makes clear, only to the righteous, to those zealous for the law. But there is another point of relevance in the passage devoted to the death of the 7 brothers, just before the last of them is to be executed. His mother is brought in to see him. She has been urged to plead with him to submit and thereby save himself. Instead, she says to him that in the day of mercy I may receive you back in your brother's company. At the end of time, those who die together will be resurrected together. Thus Eliezer, in his exhortation to the garrison of Masada, urges them to die in company with our wives and children. That is what the law ordains, not the law of the Sadducee establishment or of later Judaism. Only the law of the so-called Zealots had the woman and children in the fortress been left alive. They would not have been exterminated by the victorious Romans, but they would have been separated from their menfolk and from each other, and many of them would have been enslaved, raped, consigned to Roman army brothels, and thereby defiled, bereft of their ritual purity according to the law. At Masada, separation and defilement were feared more than death, since death for the righteous would have been only temporary here then. Among the ferocious defenders of Masada is a principle of bodily resurrection, virtually identical to that of later Christianity. The garrison who defended Masada can hardly be reconciled with traditional images of placid, peace-loving Essenes, who, according to adherents of the consensus, made up the community at Qumran, and indeed, as we have noted, adherents of the consensus continue to insist that no connection can possibly have existed between the Qumran community and the garrison at Masada, despite the discovery at Masada of texts identical to some of those found at Qumran, and in at least 2 instances found nowhere else, and despite the use by the defenders of Masada of precisely the same calendar as that used by the Qumran material, a unique solar calendar. In contrast to the lunar calendar of the official Sadducee establishment and of later rabbinical Judaism, once again there can be discerned the configuration of what